Hello, my friend. I'm really happy you're here today. Before we begin, I want to ask you a simple question. How many times have you wanted to speak English at the office, but your words did not come out clearly? Maybe your manager asked you a simple question. Maybe a coworker said something quickly. Maybe you had to join a meeting, answer a phone call, write a short message, or explain your work in English. And in that moment, maybe you understood the situation, but you did not know the right phrase to use. You had ideas in your mind, but your English felt slow. You wanted to sound polite, professional, and confident, but you were afraid of making a mistake. Maybe this has happened to you many times. You walk into the office and someone says, "Good morning, how are you?" You know this sentence. You have heard it before. But sometimes, even a simple answer feels difficult when you are nervous. Or maybe your coworker asks, "Can you give me an update?" And suddenly, your mind becomes busy. You think, "What should I say? Should I say I am working on it? Should I say I will finish it soon? Should I explain everything?" You may know many English words, but real office English is not only about knowing words. It is about knowing the right phrase at the right time. So, in today's lesson, I want to help you with practical office English. We are going to practice essential phrases that you can use in daily office conversations, meetings, phone calls, emails, teamwork, problem solving, asking for help, giving updates, sharing opinions, and speaking politely with coworkers. These are not difficult phrases. These are useful phrases. And when you repeat them slowly and understand how to use them, they can become part of your natural speaking. My name is Jack Ma, and today I want you to practice with me in a calm and simple way. Do not worry about perfect grammar. Do not worry about sounding like a native speaker today. Your goal is more practical. Your goal is to build confidence with phrases that real people use at work. When you know these phrases, you do not have to create every sentence from zero. You can use ready-made expressions. You can speak faster. You can sound more natural. And most importantly, you can feel more comfortable when English appears in your workday. Think about your normal office day. You may need to greet people in the morning. You may need to ask someone for information. You may need to say that you are busy. You may need to request a small favor. You may need to explain a delay. You may need to say you agree, disagree, or need more time. These moments look small, but they happen again and again. And if you do not have the right phrases ready, every small moment can feel stressful. But when you practice useful office phrases, these moments become easier. You begin to say, "Let me check and get back to you." You begin to say, "Could you please clarify that?" You begin to say, "I'm currently working on it." You begin to say, "I'll send you an update shortly." These simple phrases can make you sound clear, respectful, and professional. Now, before we go deeper, I want you to remember something important. Office English does not need to be complicated. Many learners think professional English means long sentences, difficult vocabulary, and perfect grammar. But in real workplaces, clear English is better than complicated English. A short, polite sentence is often stronger than a long, confusing sentence. For example, instead of trying to say something very complex, you can simply say, "Could you explain that again, please?" This is clear. This is polite. This is useful. Or you can say, "I understand your point." This is simple, but it sounds professional. The best office English helps people understand you quickly and easily. Let's start with greetings and small office conversations, because this is where many work relationships begin. At the office, you can say, "Good morning, how are you today?" Repeat it slowly. "Good morning, how are you today?" You can also say, "I'm doing well, thank you." "How about you?" Repeat. "I'm doing well, thank you." "How about you?" This phrase is useful because it answers politely and continues the conversation. Another natural phrase is, how was your weekend? Repeat, how was your weekend? You can use this on Monday or when you meet a coworker after a break. If someone asks you this question, you can answer, it was good, thank you. I spent some time with my family. Repeat, it was good, thank you. I spent some time with my family. Now let's practice a short office greeting conversation. Listen first. Good morning, Sarah. How are you today? I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? I'm good too. How was your weekend? It was nice. I stayed home and relaxed. That sounds good. Now repeat after me slowly. Good morning, Sarah. How are you today? Again, good morning, Sarah. How are you today? I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? Again, I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? How was your weekend? Again, how was your weekend? It was nice. I stayed home and relaxed. Again, it was nice. I stayed home and relaxed. These phrases may feel very simple, but they are important because they help you start conversations without stress. Many learners only prepare for big conversations, but they forget daily small talk. In an office, small talk helps you sound friendly. It helps you connect with coworkers. You do not need to talk for a long time. Just 1 or 2 sentences can be enough. You can say, nice to see you. You can say, hope you had a good weekend. You can say, how is your day going? You can say, it's been a busy morning. You can say, I have a lot to finish today. These are small phrases, but they sound natural in office life. Let's practice them now. Repeat after me. Nice to see you. Again, see you. Hope you had a good weekend. Again, hope you had a good weekend. How is your day going? Again, how is your day going? It's been a busy morning. Again, it's been a busy morning. I have a lot to finish today. Again, I have a lot to finish today. Good. Now imagine you are entering the office in the morning. A coworker smiles at you. You do not need a perfect answer. You just need a natural answer. You can say, good morning. Nice to see you. How is your day going? Say it with me. Good morning. Nice to see you. How is your day going? Now let's move to asking for help, because this is one of the most important skills in office English. At work, you cannot do everything alone. Sometimes you need information. Sometimes you need a file. Sometimes you need someone to explain a task. Many learners feel shy when asking for help because they do not want to sound weak. But asking clearly and politely is not weakness. It is professional communication. You can say, could you help me with this, please? Repeat. Could you help me with this, please? You can say, I need some help with this task. Repeat, I need some help with this task. You can say, could you show me how to do this? Repeat, could you show me how to do this? You can say, I'm not sure how to complete this. Repeat, I'm not sure how to complete this. Notice how these phrases are polite and clear. You are not saying, help me now. That may sound too direct. Instead, you are saying, could you help me with this, please? This sounds respectful. You can also add a reason. For example, could you help me with this report? I want to make sure it is correct. Repeat, could you help me with this report? I want to make sure it is correct. Or you can say, could you explain this part again? I didn't fully understand it. Repeat, could you explain this part again? I didn't fully understand it. This phrase is very useful in meetings and training sessions. Let's practice a short workplace situation. Imagine your manager gives you a new task, but one part is not clear. You can say, thank you. I understand the main task, but could you please explain this part again? Repeat slowly. Thank you. I understand the main task, but could you please explain this part again? Again. Thank you. I understand the main task, but could you please explain this part again? This sentence is powerful because it shows that you are listening. You understand some of the task, and you only need clarification. You sound professional, not confused. Now imagine you need a document from a coworker. You can say, "Could you send me the file when you have a moment?" Repeat. Could you send me the file when you have a moment? This is polite because you are not pushing the person too hard. You can also say, "Could you please share the latest version of the document?" Repeat. Could you please share the latest version of the document? Another useful phrase is, "Please let me know if you need anything from my side." Repeat. Please let me know if you need anything from my side. This phrase is very common in office communications because it sounds cooperative. Now let's practice a small conversation. Listen first. "Could you send me the latest file when you have a moment?" "Sure, I'll send it in a few minutes. Thank you." "Please let me know if you need anything from my side." "No problem, I will." Now repeat after me. "Could you send me the latest file when you have a moment?" Again. "Could you send me the latest file when you have a moment?" "Sure, I'll send it in a few minutes." Again. "Sure, I'll send it in a few minutes. Thank you." "Please let me know if you need anything from my side." Again. "Thank you." "Please let me know if you need anything from my side." Good. Now let's talk about giving updates, because this happens every day in office life. Your manager may ask, "How is the project going?" Your team leader may ask, "Do you have any updates?" Your coworker may ask, "Is the report ready?" In these moments, you need simple phrases that show progress. You can say, "I'm currently working on it." Repeat, "I'm currently working on it." You can say, "I've completed the first part." Repeat, "I've completed the first part." You can say, "I'm almost finished." Repeat, "I'm almost finished." You can say, "I'll finish it by the end of the day." Repeat, "I'll finish it by the end of the day." You can say, "I'll send you an update shortly." Repeat, "I'll send you an update shortly." These update phrases make you sound organized. You do not need to explain too much unless the person asks for details. For example, if your manager asks, "Can you give me an update?" you can say, "Yes, I've completed the first part, and I'm currently working on the second part. I'll send you an update shortly." Repeat slowly. "Yes, I've completed the first part, and I'm currently working on the second part. I'll send you an update shortly." Again, "Yes, I've completed the first part, and I'm currently working on the second part. I'll send you an update shortly." Now let's begin with the office phrases you can use from the moment you arrive at work. In many offices, the first English conversation of the day is very simple, but it is still important because it helps you sound friendly, polite, and professional. You do not need to say something long. You can use short phrases like, "Good morning. How are you today? Nice to see you. How is your morning going? Hope you had a good weekend. And it's good to see you again." These phrases are small, but they open the door to natural office communication. Repeat them slowly with me. "Good morning. How are you today? It's nice to see you. How is your morning going? Hope you had a good weekend. It's good to see you again." Good. These are not just words. These are confidence builders. When you can say simple phrases easily, your brain begins to feel safer using English at work. Now imagine you walk into the office and see a coworker near the desk. You can say, "Good morning. How are you today?" The coworker may answer, "I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?" Then you can say, "I'm good, thanks. It's a busy morning, but I'm ready to start." Repeat this full answer. "I'm good, thanks. It's a busy morning, but I'm ready to start." This phrase is very useful because it sounds natural and positive. You can also say, "I'm doing well, just getting started with my tasks." Repeat, "I'm doing well, just getting started with my tasks." Or you can say, "I have a lot to do today, but everything is going well." Repeat, "I have a lot to do today, but everything is going well." These answers help you sound more fluent because you are not only saying, "I'm fine," you are giving a little more information, and that makes the conversation feel more real. At At the office, you also need phrases for starting conversations about work. For example, you can say, "Can we talk about the project for a minute?" Repeat, "Can we talk about the project for a minute?" You can say, "I wanted to ask you about the report." Repeat, "I wanted to ask you about the report." You can say, "Do you have a moment to discuss this?" Repeat, "Do you have a moment to discuss this?" You can say, "I have a quick question about today's task." Repeat, "I have a quick question about today's task." These phrases are very helpful because they are polite and clear. Instead of suddenly asking a question, you first prepare the other person. This makes your English sound softer and more professional. Let's practice this in a small office situation. Imagine you need to ask your coworker about a file. You can say, "Do you have a moment? I have a quick question about the file." Repeat slowly, "Do you have a moment? I have a quick question about the file." Again, "Do you have a moment? I have a quick question about the file." Now imagine you need to talk to your manager about a task. You can say, "Can we talk about today's task for a minute?" Repeat, "Can we talk about today's task for a minute?" Again, "Can we talk about today's task for a minute?" Notice how these phrases help you enter the conversation politely. This is very important in office English because tone matters. You may have the right words, but if your words sound too direct, the message can feel rude. So use soft phrases like, "Do you have a moment? And can we talk for a minute?" These phrases make your English sound respectful. Now let's practice asking for information. In the office, you often need details. You may need to know when something is due, who is responsible, where a file is saved, or what the next step is. You can say, "Could you please give me more details?" Repeat, "Could you please give me more details?" You can say, "Could you explain that again?" Repeat, "Could you explain that again?" You can say, "What is the deadline for this task?" Repeat, "What is the deadline for this task?" You can say, "Who should I send this to?" Repeat, "Who should I send this to?" You can say, "Where can I find the document?" Repeat, "Where can I find the document?" These phrases are essential because they help you work correctly. If you do not understand something, do not stay silent. A professional person asks clear questions. Sometimes learners feel embarrassed to ask someone to repeat something. But in real office life, asking for clarification is normal. You can say, "Sorry, could you repeat that, please?" Repeat, "Sorry, could you repeat that, please?" You can say, "I didn't catch the last part." Repeat, "I didn't catch the last part." You can say, "Could you say that more slowly?" Repeat, "Could you say that more slowly?" You can say, "Let me make sure I understood correctly." Repeat, "Let me make sure I understood correctly." This last phrase is very powerful. It shows that you are careful and professional. You are not saying, "I don't understand anything." You are saying, "I want to confirm the information." That sounds responsible. Now let's practice a real office moment. Your manager says something quickly about a report. You understand most of it, but not all of it. You can say, "Sorry, I didn't catch the last part. Could you repeat that, please?" Repeat slowly. "Sorry, I didn't catch the last part. Could you repeat that, please?" Again, "Sorry, I didn't catch the last part. Could you repeat that, please?" Now you want to confirm the task. You can say, "Let me make sure I understood correctly." You want me to finish the report by Friday, right? Repeat, "Let me make sure I understood correctly." You want me to finish the report by Friday, right? Good. This sentence may feel long, but it is very useful. It helps you avoid mistakes and shows that you are listening carefully. Now let's move to phrases for asking for help. At work, asking for help is not a problem. The important thing is to ask politely and clearly. You can say, "Could you help me with this, please?" "Could you help me with this, please?" You can say, "I need some help with this task." Repeat, "I need some help with this task." You can say, could you show me how to do this? Repeat, could you show me how to do this? You can say, I'm not sure how to complete this. Repeat, I'm not sure how to complete this. You can say, could you guide me through this process? Repeat, could you guide me through this process? These phrases are useful when you are new at a job, learning a new system, or working on something unfamiliar. Let's practice asking for help in a calm and professional way. Imagine you are working on a spreadsheet, but one part is confusing. You can say, could you help me with this spreadsheet? I'm not sure how to complete this section. Repeat slowly. Could you help me with this spreadsheet? I'm not sure how to complete this section. Again, could you help me with this spreadsheet? I'm not sure how to complete this section. Now, imagine you are learning a new office system. You can say, could you show me how to use this system? I want to make sure I do it correctly. Repeat. Could you show me how to use this system? I want to make sure I do it correctly. This phrase sounds professional because you are showing that you care about doing the work well. Now let's practice phrases for offering help, because office communication is not only about asking. Sometimes you need to support your coworkers too. You can say, do you need any help? Repeat. Do you need any help? You can say, let me know if you need anything. Repeat. Let me know if you need anything. You can say, I can help you with that. Repeat, I can help you with that. You can say, would you like me to check it? Repeat. Would you like me to check it? You can say, I'm happy to help. Repeat, I'm happy to help. These phrases make you sound cooperative and friendly. In an office, teamwork is very important, and simple, helpful phrases can improve your relationships. Now imagine your coworker looks busy. You can say, you look busy. Do you need any help? Repeat, you look busy. Do you need any help? If your coworker says yes, you can say, sure, I can help you with that. Repeat, sure, I can help you with that. If someone sends you a document, you can say, would you like me to check it before you send it? Repeat, would you like me to check it before you send it? These phrases show that you are not only focused on your own work, you are also part of a team. Let's bring these phrases together in one short office conversation. Listen first. Good morning. How are you today? I'm good, thanks. It's a busy morning, but I'm ready to start. Do you have a moment? I have a quick question about the report. Sure. What do you need? Could you please give me more details about the deadline? Of course, we need to finish it by Friday. Let me make sure I understood correctly. You want the report finished by Friday, right? Yes, that's right. Great, thank you. Please let me know if you need anything from my side. Now repeat the useful lines slowly. Good morning, how are you today? I'm good, thanks. It's a busy morning, but I'm ready to start. Do you have a moment? I have a quick question about the report. Could you please give me more details about the deadline? Let me make sure I understood correctly. Please let me know if you need anything from my side. Now take a moment and imagine yourself using these phrases tomorrow at work. You do not need to use all of them at once. Choose 2 or 3 phrases and practice them many times. Say, do you have a moment? Say, could you explain that again? Say, let me make sure I understood correctly. Say, I'm happy to help. These phrases are small tools, and the more you use them, the more natural they become. Office English becomes easier when you stop trying to create every sentence from zero and start using ready phrases that fit real situations. Now let's continue with one of the most common office situations: giving updates about your work. In many workplaces, people do not always ask for long explanations. They just want to know what is happening, what is finished, what is still in progress, and when the work will be ready. This is why update phrases are so important. You can say, I'm currently working on it. Repeat, I'm currently working on it. You can say, I've completed the first part. Repeat, I've completed the first part. You can say, I'm almost finished. Repeat, I'm almost finished. You can say, I'll finish it by the end of the day. Repeat, I'll finish it by the end of the day. You can say, I'll send you an update shortly. Repeat, I'll send you an update shortly. These phrases are simple, but they make you sound organized and responsible. Now imagine your manager asks, can you give me an update on the report? You do not need to panic. You can answer with a clear sentence. You can say, yes, I've completed the first section, and I'm currently reviewing the numbers. Repeat slowly. Yes, I've completed the first section, and I'm currently reviewing the numbers. You can also say, I'm still working on it, but I should be able to finish it today. Repeat, I'm still working on it, but I should be able to finish it today. If something is delayed, you can say, there has been a small delay, but I'm working on it now. Repeat, there has been a small delay, but I'm working on it now. This phrase is very useful because it is honest, but it also shows action. You are not only saying there is a problem, you are saying you are doing something about it. Sometimes at work, you need to explain that you need more time. This can feel difficult, but if you use polite phrases, it sounds professional. You can say, I need a little more time to finish this. Repeat, I need a little more time to finish this. You can say, could I have until tomorrow to complete it? Repeat, could I have until tomorrow to complete it? You can say, I want to make sure it is done properly. Repeat, I want to make sure it is done properly. You can say, I'll do my best to finish it as soon as possible. Repeat, I'll do my best to finish it as soon as possible. These phrases help you ask for time without sounding careless. You are showing that quality matters to you. Let's practice a complete office answer. Your manager says, is the presentation ready? You can say, I'm almost finished. I need a little more time to review the final slides. I'll send it to you by this afternoon. Repeat slowly. I'm almost finished. I need a little more time to review the final slides. I'll send it to you by this afternoon. Again, I'm almost finished. I need a little more time to review the final slides. I'll send it to you by this afternoon. Good. This answer has 3 useful parts. First, you explain the progress. Second, you explain what remains. Third, you give a clear time. This makes your communication stronger. Now let's move to meetings, because many learners feel nervous when they have to speak in a meeting. In a meeting, you may need to share an idea, ask a question, agree, disagree, or ask for clarification. You do not need to speak perfectly. You just need a few strong phrases ready in your mind. You can say, I'd like to share an idea. Repeat, I'd like to share an idea. You can say, in my opinion, we should try a different approach. Repeat, in my opinion, we should try a different approach. You can say, I agree with that point. Repeat, I agree with that point. You can say, that makes sense to me. Repeat, that makes sense to me. You can say, I see your point, but I have a different view. Repeat, I see your point, but I have a different view. These phrases help you join a meeting politely. When you want to speak in a meeting, it is helpful to start softly. You can say, may I add something? Repeat, may I add something? You can say, can I share my thoughts? Repeat, can I share my thoughts? You can say, I have a suggestion. Repeat, I have a suggestion. You can say, one possible solution is to start earlier. Repeat, one possible solution is to start earlier. You can say, maybe we can divide the work into smaller tasks. Repeat, maybe we can divide the work into smaller tasks. These phrases are useful because they help you sound confident without sounding too aggressive. In professional English, the way you enter the conversation is important. Now imagine you are in a team meeting and everyone is discussing a project. You want to give your opinion. You can say, may I add something? I think we should finish the first task before we start the next one. Repeat slowly. May I add something? I think we should finish the first task before we start the next one. Again, may I add something? I think we should finish the first task before we start the next one. Now imagine you agree with a coworker. You can say, I agree with Sarah. That makes sense to me. Repeat, I agree with Sarah. That makes sense to me. Now imagine you disagree politely. You can say, I see your point, but I think we may need more information before we decide. Repeat slowly. I see your point, but I think we may need more information before we decide. This is a very important office sentence because disagreement at work must be respectful. You are not attacking the person. You are simply sharing another view. Now let's practice phrases for asking questions in a meeting. You can say, could you clarify that point? Repeat. Could you clarify that point? You can say, what do you mean by that? Repeat. What do you mean by that? You can say, could you give us an example? Repeat. Could you give us an example? You can say, what is the next step? Repeat. What is the next step? You can say, who will be responsible for this task? Repeat. Who will be responsible for this task? These phrases help you understand the meeting better. And they also show that you are paying attention. Let's practice a meeting conversation. Listen first. May I add something? Of course, go ahead. I think we should review the customer feedback before we make a final decision. That makes sense. Could you give us an example? Yes, several customers asked for faster service. So maybe we should focus on response time first. I agree with that point. What is the next step? Now repeat the useful lines. May I add something? I think we should review the customer feedback before we make a final decision. Could you give us an example? I agree with that point. What is the next step? Good. This is real meeting English. You are sharing, asking, agreeing, and moving the conversation forward. Now let's talk about phone calls and office messages. Many learners feel nervous on the phone because they cannot see the other person's face. But again, ready phrases can help you. When you answer a call, you can say, hello, this is Jack Ma speaking. Repeat, hello, this is Jack Ma speaking. You can say, how can I help you? Repeat, how can I help you? If you need the person to wait, you can say, could you hold for a moment, please? Repeat, could you hold for a moment, please? If you did not hear clearly, you can say, sorry, the line is not very clear. Repeat, sorry, the line is not very clear. You can say, could you repeat that, please? Repeat. Could you repeat that, please? These phrases are essential for office phone communication. If you need to transfer a call, you can say, I'll transfer you to the right person. Repeat, I'll transfer you to the right person. You can say, let me check who can help you with that. Repeat, let me check who can help you with that. If the person is not available, you can say, she is not available at the moment. Repeat, she is not available at the moment. You can say, would you like to leave a message? Repeat, would you like to leave a message? You can say, I'll ask her to call you back. Repeat, I'll ask her to call you back. These phrases make phone calls smoother and less stressful. Now practice a short office phone call with me. Hello, this is Jack Ma speaking. How can I help you? Could I speak to Sarah, please? She is not available at the moment. Would you like to leave a message? Yes. Please ask her to call me back. Sure, I'll ask her to call you back. Thank you. You're welcome. Now repeat slowly. Hello, this is Jack Ma speaking. How can I help you? She is not available at the moment. Would you like to leave a message? I'll ask her to call you back. Good. You can use these lines again and again in real office calls. Now I want you to pause for a moment and think about which phrases you need most in your work life. Do you need phrases for updates? Do you need phrases for meetings? Do you need phrases for phone calls? Choose 5 phrases from today's practice and say them out loud 3 times. For example, say, I'm currently working on it. Say, Could I have until tomorrow to complete it? Say, may I add something? I see your point, but I have a different view. Say, could you hold for a moment, please? When you repeat useful phrases many times, they begin to move from your memory into your mouth. That is how office English becomes more natural. Now let's continue with another important part of office English: writing short messages and emails. In many workplaces, you do not always speak face to face. Sometimes you need to send a quick message, reply to an email, confirm information, or ask for a document. The good news is that office messages often use simple, repeated phrases. You can say, "Thank you for your message." Repeat, "Thank you for your message." You can say, "I hope you are doing well." Repeat, "I hope you are doing well." You can say, "I'm writing to ask about the meeting." Repeat, "I'm writing to ask about the meeting." You can say, "Please find the attached file." Repeat, "Please find the attached file." You can say, "Please let me know if you have any questions." Repeat, "Please let me know if you have any questions." These phrases are very useful because they sound polite and professional in written office English. Now imagine you need to send a file to your manager. You can write or says, "Please find the attached report. Let me know if you need any changes." Repeat slowly. "Please find the attached report. Let me know if you need any changes." Again, "Please find the attached report. Let me know if you need any changes." Now imagine you need to ask for information. You can say, "Could you please send me the meeting notes when you have a moment?" Repeat, "Could you please send me the meeting notes when you have a moment?" This phrase is polite because it uses "could you please" and "when you have a moment." These small words make your request sound softer. In office English, polite language is very important because it protects relationships while still helping you get the information you need. Sometimes you need to follow up when someone has not replied yet. This can feel uncomfortable, but you can do it politely. You can say, "I just wanted to follow up on my previous message." Repeat, "I just wanted to follow up on my previous message." You can say, "I'm checking in to see if there are any updates." Repeat, "I'm checking in to see if there are any updates." You can say, "Could you please let me know when you have a chance?" Repeat, "Could you please let me know when you have a chance?" You can say, "No rush, but I wanted to check the status." Repeat, "No rush, but I wanted to check the status." These phrases are helpful because they allow you to ask again without sounding impatient. Now let's practice a short follow-up message. Repeat after me. "Hi, Sarah. I just wanted to follow up on my previous message. Could you please let me know if there are any updates?" Thank you. Again. "Hi, Sarah. I just wanted to follow up on my previous message. Could you please let me know if there are any updates?" Thank you. Good. This is a simple office message, but it is very useful. You can use the same structure for many situations. You can follow up about a report, a meeting, a payment, a document, a decision, or a task. The structure is easy. First, you say you are following up. Then you ask for an update. Then you close politely. Now let's talk about scheduling and time, because office conversations often include meetings, deadlines, and appointments. You can say, "Are you available at 3 p.m.?" Repeat, "Are you available at 3 p.m.?" You can say, "Can we schedule a meeting for tomorrow?" Repeat, "Can we schedule a meeting for tomorrow?" You can say, "Could we move the meeting to Friday?" Repeat, "Could we move the meeting to Friday?" You can say, "That time works for me." Repeat, "That time works for me." You can say, "I'm not available at that time." Repeat, "I'm not available at that time." You can say, "Can we find another time?" Repeat, "Can we find another time?" These phrases are essential because office work depends on timing. If you can discuss time clearly, you will feel much more confident. Imagine your coworker says, "Can we meet at 2 p.m.?" If the time is good, you can say, yes, that time works for me. Repeat, yes, that time works for me. If the time is not good, you can say, I'm sorry, I'm not available at that time. Can we meet at 4 p.m.? Instead, repeat slowly. I'm sorry, I'm not available at that time. Can we meet at 4 p.m. instead? Again, I'm sorry, I'm not available at that time. Can we meet at 4 p.m. instead? This is a very useful sentence because it does not only say no, it gives another option. In office English, giving another option is more helpful than simply saying, I can't. Now let's practice phrases for mistakes and problems. Because every office has problems sometimes. A file may be missing. A deadline may change. A customer may complain. A meeting may be delayed. You need calm English for these moments. You can say, there seems to be a problem. Repeat, there seems to be a problem. You can say, I'll look into it. Repeat, I'll look into it. You can say, let me check what happened. Repeat, let me check what happened. You can say, I'm sorry for the confusion. Repeat, I'm sorry for the confusion. You can say, thank you for your patience. Repeat, thank you for your patience. These phrases help you sound calm, responsible, and professional when something goes wrong. Now imagine you sent the wrong file by mistake. You can say, I'm sorry for the confusion. I sent the wrong file by mistake. I'll send the correct one now. Repeat slowly, I'm sorry for the confusion. I sent the wrong file by mistake. I'll send the correct one now. Again, I'm sorry for the confusion. I sent the wrong file by mistake. I'll send the correct one now. Notice that this answer is honest and direct. You do not need to make a long excuse. You simply apologize, explain briefly, and give the solution. That is professional English. Now let's practice phrases for ending conversations politely. At the office, how you finish a conversation is also important. You can say, thank you for your time. Repeat, thank you for your time. You can say, thanks for your help. Repeat, thanks for your help. You can say, I'll get back to you soon. Repeat, I'll get back to you soon. You can say, let's stay in touch about this. Repeat, let's stay in touch about this. You can say, have a great rest of your day. Repeat, have a great rest of your day. You can say, I'll speak with you later. Repeat, I'll speak with you later. These phrases help you close conversations smoothly instead of stopping suddenly. Now, let's bring everything together in one office practice. Imagine you are at work. You greet your coworker, ask about a task, give an update, schedule a meeting, explain a small problem, and close politely. Repeat after me slowly. Good morning, how are you today? Do you have a moment? I have a quick question about the report. Could you please give me more details about the deadline? I'm currently working on the first section, and I'll send you an update shortly. Are you available at 3 p.m. for a quick meeting? That time works for me. There seems to be a small problem with the file, but I'll look into it. Thank you for your patience. I'll get back to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. Now say this practice again, but imagine you are really speaking in your office. Do not rush. Speak clearly. Good morning, how are you today? Do you have a moment? I have a quick question about the report. Could you please give me more details about the deadline? I'm currently working on the first section, and I'll send you an update shortly. Are you available at 3 p.m. for a quick meeting? That time works for me. There seems to be a small problem with the file, but I'll look into it. Thank you for your patience. I'll get back to you soon. Have a great rest of your day. The most important thing to remember is this. Office English becomes easier when you stop waiting for perfect English and start practicing useful phrases again and again. You do not need to memorize every sentence in one day. Choose a few phrases for greetings, a few phrases for asking questions, a few phrases for giving updates, a few phrases for meetings, a few phrases for phone calls, and a few phrases for emails. Practice them out loud until they feel familiar. Then, when you are in a real office situation, your brain will not feel empty. You will already have language ready. You will be able to speak with more calm, more clarity, and more confidence. Now let's practice some stronger office phrases that help you sound more professional when you are working with other people. Sometimes you do not only need to ask simple questions. You also need to explain your priorities, talk about responsibilities, share decisions, and manage your time. You can say, "My main priority today is the report." Repeat. "My main priority today is the report." You can say, "I'll focus on this task first." Repeat, "I'll focus on this task first." You can say, "This task is urgent." Repeat, "This task is urgent." You can say, "This can wait until tomorrow." Repeat, "This can wait until tomorrow." You can say, "I'll take care of it." Repeat, "I'll take care of it." You can say, "I'll handle this part." Repeat, "I'll handle this part." These phrases help you speak clearly about work and responsibility. In an office, people need to know what you are doing, what is important, and what can wait. Now imagine your manager gives you 3 tasks at the same time. Instead of feeling nervous, you can use calm English to organize the situation. You can say, "I'll focus on the report first because it is urgent. After that, I'll work on the presentation." Repeat slowly. "I'll focus on the report first because it is urgent. After that, I'll work on the presentation." Again, "I'll focus on the report first because it is urgent. After that, I'll work on the presentation." This sentence is useful because it shows that you understand priorities. You are not just saying yes to everything. You are explaining your plan clearly. Sometimes you also need to talk about teamwork. In office life, many tasks are not done alone. You may work with a coworker, divide responsibilities, review each other's work, or prepare something together. You can say, "Let's work on this together." Repeat, "Let's work on this together." You can say, "We can divide the task." Repeat, "We can divide the task." You can say, "I'll handle the first part, and you can handle the second part." Repeat, "I'll handle the first part, and you can handle the second part." You can say, "Let's check everything before we send it." Repeat, "Let's check everything before we send it." You can say, "Could you review this when you have time?" Repeat, "Could you review this when you have time?" These phrases are helpful because they make teamwork smoother and clearer. Now let's practice a team situation. Imagine you and your coworker need to prepare a presentation. You can say, "Let's divide the task." I'll prepare the introduction, and you can prepare the main points. Then we can review everything together. Repeat slowly. "Let's divide the task." I'll prepare the introduction, and you can prepare the main points. Then we can review everything together. Again, let's divide the task. I'll prepare the introduction, and you can prepare the main points. Then we can review everything together. This kind of office English is practical because it helps you guide the work without sounding bossy. You sound clear, polite, and cooperative. Now let's talk about giving feedback, because feedback is a normal part of office communication. Sometimes you need to tell someone that their work is good. Sometimes you need to suggest a small change. The key is to sound respectful. You can say, "This looks good." Repeat, "This looks good." You can say, "Great work on this." Repeat, "Great work on this." You can say, "I like the way you explain this." Repeat, "I like the way you explain this." You can say, "Could we make this part a little clearer?" Repeat, "Could we make this part a little clearer?" You can say, "Maybe we can improve this section." Repeat, "Maybe we can improve this section." You can say, "I think this needs a small change." Repeat, "I think this needs a small change." These phrases are useful because they help you give feedback without making the other person feel bad. Let's practice giving feedback in a professional way. Imagine your coworker sends you a document. It is good, but one part needs improvement. You can say, "This looks good overall. I think the second section needs a small change, but the rest is clear." Repeat slowly. "This looks good overall. I think the second section needs a small change, but the rest is clear." Again, "This looks good overall. I think the second section needs a small change, but the rest is clear." This phrase is balanced. You start with something positive, then you give the suggested suggestion, and then you end with another clear comment. This is a good habit in professional communication. Now let's practice phrases for customers or clients, because many office workers need to speak with people outside the company. You can say, "Thank you for reaching out." Repeat. "Thank you for reaching out." You can say, "How can I assist you today?" Repeat. "How can I assist you today?" You can say, "I understand your concern." Repeat. "I understand your concern." You can say, "Let me check that for you." Repeat. "Let me check that for you." You can say, "I'll get back to you as soon as possible." Repeat. "I'll get back to you as soon as possible." You can say, "Thank you for bringing this to our attention." Repeat. "Thank you for bringing this to our attention." These phrases sound polite, calm, and helpful, especially when you are dealing with questions or problems. Now imagine a customer says there is a problem with an order. You can say, "I understand your concern. Let me check the details, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible." Repeat slowly. "I understand your concern. Let me check the details, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible." Again. "I understand your concern. Let me check the details, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible." This sentence is very useful because it does three things. It shows that you listened. It shows that you will check the information. And it gives the person a clear next step. This is the heart of good office communication. Now let's practice polite disagreement and careful decision making. At work, you will not always agree with every idea, but you can disagree in a way that sounds respectful. You can say, "I understand your point." Repeat. "I understand your point." You can say, "That is a good idea, but we may need more time." Repeat. "That is a good idea, but we may need more time." You can say, "I'm not sure that will work for this project." Repeat. "I'm not sure that will work for this project." You can say, "Maybe we should consider another option." Repeat. "Maybe we should consider another option." You can say, "Let's think about the risks before we decide." Repeat. "Let's think about the risks before we decide." These phrases help you share a different opinion without sounding rude or negative. Now practice this meeting answer. Imagine someone suggests a plan, but you think it may be risky. You can say, "I understand your point, and I think the idea is interesting, but maybe we should consider the risks before we make a final decision." Repeat slowly. "I understand your point, and I think the idea is interesting, but maybe we should consider the risks before we make a final decision." Again, "I understand your point, and I think the idea is interesting, but maybe we should consider the risks before we make a final decision." This sentence is professional because it respects the other person first, then explains your concern. Now let's finish with a full office speaking practice that connects many of today's phrases together. Imagine you are at work and you need to speak with your manager and your team. Say this slowly with me. "Good morning, how are you today?" "I'm doing well, thank you." "I have a quick question about the project. Could you please give me more details about the deadline?" "I want to make sure I understood correctly. You want the first draft by Friday, right?" "Thank you. I'm currently working on the first section, and I'll send you an update shortly. My main priority today is the report, so I'll focus on that first. After that, I'll work on the presentation. If there is a problem, I'll let you know. Please let me know if you need anything from my side." Now continue the practice. May I add something? I think we should divide the task into smaller parts. I'll handle the first part, and Sarah can handle the second part. Then we can review everything before we send it. This looks good overall, but I think the second section needs a small change. Maybe we can make it clearer. I understand your point, but I think we should consider another option before we decide. That makes sense to me. Let's check the details and choose the best solution. Now, practice one final customer or client situation. Thank you for reaching out. I understand your concern. Let me check that for you. There seems to be a small issue with the file, but I'll look into it. Thank you for your patience. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a great rest of your day. When you practice office English, do not only read the phrases silently, speak them out loud. Your mouth needs training, not only your eyes. Choose 10 phrases from this lesson and repeat them every morning before work. Say, do you have a moment? Say, could you clarify that point? Say, I'm currently working on it. Say, I'll send you an update shortly. Say, that time works for me. Say, I'll look into it. Say, let's divide the task. Say, I understand your concern. Say, maybe we should consider another option. Say, please let me know if you have any questions. If you repeat these phrases until they feel familiar, you will slowly stop translating every word in your mind. You will begin to speak in ready English chunks, and that is how office communication becomes smoother, faster, and more natural. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I really hope this lesson helped you feel more confident about speaking English at the office. Remember, you do not need to learn every phrase perfectly in one day. You only need to choose a few useful phrases, repeat them often, and slowly make them part of your real speaking. Office English becomes easier when you practice real situations, like greeting coworkers, asking questions, giving updates, joining meetings, answering phone calls, writing short messages, and speaking politely with customers or team members. If you want to improve faster, come back to this lesson again and practice the phrases out loud. Do not only listen silently. Speak with me. Repeat the sentences. Pause the video when you need more time. Imagine yourself using these phrases at work. The more you practice, the more natural your English will feel in real office conversations. And if this lesson helped you, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you can keep practicing English with me. Keep going, my friend. Your confidence will grow one phrase, one sentence, and one small practice session at a time.